Safe travels, G. Temerity sent word. She said you can go. I'm sorry, Envoy. I don't have much more to say. You were responsible for all this death. But I hope you don't end up the same way, too.
We need to talk. You let a mad archmage unleash death with a spell. I need to know why.
He's right, Kai. Reengrim knows more about the Dream Scourge than we do, and we know more than most others do. She found a great solution, but it came with a great cost. What more could we expect?
Do you hear yourself? You both saw what kind of person she is. The twisted little world she built for herself. If ending the Dream Scourge means handing our fate to someone like her, then perhaps it's not.
Kai, let's be honest. None of us are walking away from this with a clean conscience. But unless someone makes the tough decisions, the Dream Scourge will kill us all. Or worse. That means living with our nightmares. Embracing them if we must.
Right. Getting killed by monsters is one thing, but turning into one...
We stand here bickering while the solution is just over the horizon. Nothing matters but the garden. Shatterscarp, even Emerald Stair. They're distractions by comparison.
If we run into Ludwig out there, it's gonna be ugly.
Frankly, I'll take any opportunity we get to ruin Ludwig's day.
I'll say this much for the Inquisitor. She's stubborn, like a rat. And I plan on hunting her like a rat.
I'd say we shouldn't stay on her bad side, but I'm not sure she has any other sides.
You know her better than any of us. What's your read?
Indeed. And death is her strength, and her weakness.
But you're saying there's a chance?
Well, the joke's on her in any case. Ludwig won't get very far without that map. She'll be scratching her skull.
Somehow, I don't think she'll let that stop her for long.
And Ludwig definitely strikes me as someone who doesn't leave food on her plate. Right, and the Steel Garrote is famously level-headed. Just look at Fior.
Ludwig and her Steel Garrote have the numbers and the power, but we have spunk and a map. And that might just be enough to find the garden before she does.
We're all competing for the same thing. A place we barely understand, with no guarantees of what we'll find there. Still, I am determined to reach the garden, above all else.
Ugh, that's just a pile of Sokka. Generally, debatable, but about the garden, definitely. You won't find a blessed a thing. This wild beetle chase of yours is a Page-Raku waste of time. To get to the garden, you have to go through Galawain's tusks. The land is made of lava and acid. It wants to eat you alive.
So it's tough odds. We've gotten this far together.
Tough odds is an extra Zarb jumping in at the last minute. This is a long trek, on foot, through a land that can barely support life. I don't have to be a Blessed Oracle to know this won't go how you think it will. And what would he say if he knew what you were really doing out here? Your true orders come from a voice in your head. What do you know about Soppadal? How do you know you can trust them?
I hate to be the voice of reason, but we are talking about a god. There are limits to what we can even comprehend.
I have a powerful connection to my Blessed flute, but I'm not about to take orders from it.
What's on your mind, Marius? What bothers you so?
Because I can scream until I'm blue in the face, and you people would still rather trust the Envoy's pet headache demon. And now you want to drag us through the deadliest region in the world because a sleeping god said so. Oh, I've been acting odd. Me. Need I remind you that we're talking about jumping off a cliff because your head voices tell us to? I'm done here. Do whatever Blessed planning you want to do. You don't need me for that.
Let's just take a breath, Marius. You don't mean that.
Nope. I said what I said. Come get me when it's time to go.
Poor Marius. Some things really rattled him.
I've never seen Marius like this. Something's going on with him, but I don't know what. I hope so. One of us should talk to him. If something's eating at him, I don't like leaving him to his thoughts.
Well, hopefully Marius will be okay soon. We have to get going if we want to get to the garden before Ludwig.
We won't get far unless we look after each other. Now's your chance. Can we talk a moment? I wanted to pick your brain about Shatterscarp. How much do you really know about Adra? Very good. We severed the Adra and Naku Kubel to slow down the Dream Scourge. But at what cost? That would be putting it lightly. The souls of the dead who go looking for a passage to the beyond will have nowhere to go. They'll be lost in darkness. Some will find their way to an Adra pillar, far from Shatterscarp. But others could wander this land for centuries. A watcher, maybe. It's a shame we haven't got one. Try as we might to help others, we won't always succeed. Even the dead can suffer the consequences of our actions. I just wish the world and its problems would leave us alone. Even for a moment. Give us time to focus on our mission. Ourselves. As do I. We both deserve a little peace. And if the world will not give it to us, then we'll just find it in each other. While I have your ear, can I ask you one more question? Something about Inquisitor Ludwig has been getting to me. She seemed eager to distinguish your Adiran loyalty from your nature as a godlike, as though the two are incompatible. She believes you can be loyal to your country or to your nature, but not both. Do you find that unusual? But what about you, her kinsman? When you rejected Ludwig's offer, she wasn't surprised. As though she saw it coming. Ludwig clearly respects you, but I don't believe she trusts you. Anyway, that just had me thinking. Could be nothing, or could be something. Time will tell. Get some rest. You deserve a nap. For that matter, so do I. Go on then, I'm listening. I've heard the Wardens are very set in their ways. For better or worse. Usually the worse. Vidaro tried to form a trade agreement with the Council. Copper and glass in exchange for grain. But it went nowhere. Perhaps, but I think there's more to it than that. The Wardens value self-reliance. Maybe because they have an inflated sense of their own importance. No offense, Marius.
No, you pretty much got it right.
They have a righteous duty to protect these lands, and believe that it can and should be done without the help of outsiders. It's a bit like shooting yourself in the foot because you don't trust anyone else to wield the gun. Pleasant dreams.
Envoy, we need to discuss what you did in the ruins. I just hope we made the right decision. Those ruins are priceless, and I truly look forward to exploring them again in the future, but I don't know that I'll ever truly accept what we did. What I did. Usually, I know the right answer. It's obvious. Here, though... I know. We've seen enough pain caused by the Dream Scourge. Things have been... unreal. We spoke to actual ancient Akedans in the ruins. I was able to ask questions and get answers. Perhaps you'll pick a better specialty next time. Most historians have only hoped to speak with past lives through animancy. I'll blow them all away with my next paper. But to go through the trials ourselves? Oh, could we be any luckier? Fascinating. I can't imagine what it was like to grow up a godlike with no god. I'm glad you got answers, sweetheart. Well, I have to start writing this all down before I forget. But do return if you think of any other juicy details. Careful what you wish for, darling. So, the Godless, or the Akeda, as they called themselves, were the original folks who lived in the Living Lands. They arrived on the shores of a new land and settled there, living with the land instead of trying to tame it. Well, that's a bit harder to explain. The Godless are so... singular. Their art and architecture, you never see it in Rawatai or Ishamatal or... well, Adir. But in their artwork, they reference escaping, fleeing, seeking refuge, so they must have come from somewhere. My guess, they originally came from Yesua. Yesua, a continent, cut off from the rest of the world, hidden by eternal storms, one of the 3 hubs of the Angwithan Empire. 10 years ago, you could say it wasn't real, that it was a dream, but they said the same of Ukaiso. Suddenly, the appearance of a mythical land doesn't seem so implausible. There was some kind of schism, an ideological one. From what I can glean, the Godless were staunchly against the gods, hence their name. There are even some not-so-kind murals of the gods. It seems like the Godless really took their anti-theism seriously. You're right. But no one knew that until your trip to Nakukubel, hence the name Godless. Now that we know that Sapadal exists, it changes everything we thought we knew about the Akeda. I knew following you was a good idea. It might have shaken my research to its core, but that's what makes it fun. Well, I think we've covered everything, don't you? Rather, as much as I think you'll withstand. Hope you enjoyed talking about this as much as I did, dearie. How can I help, darling? I've been trying to sort my thoughts since we left her domain. We met Ringrim. The Ringrim. Master Illusionist of the Circle of Archmagi. And we impressed her. She even offered to make me her apprentice. It was overwhelming. I can still feel my heartbeat. It doesn't feel real, but it is. Oh, Handra's titties. What am I going to do? If I take the apprenticeship, I'll have to leave Quilici and Fjord. And what about my study of the Godless? I've spent my whole life with them. Oh, you even learned their proper name. I can't believe you listened. You'll make me cry at this rate. I'm not a kid anymore. I can't do everything all at once. There are only 26 hours in a day. I love my life as it is now. Exploring as I wish and coming home to open arms and a warm bed. I don't want to give that up. But this is something I never even dreamed of. But it's big. It won't leave room for much else. And I'm too old to... Oh, Envoy. What would you do? I know. That's the whole issue. I've learned magic through my own means, reading and studying on my own. How much more could I learn with her? And how much faster? Within a fortnight, I could rule the world.
Oh, gods. I'll stick with the secret sleeping god that whispers who knows what in our leader's head, thank you very much.
Thank you, dearie. I can't promise I'll act on it, but I really appreciate the advice. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to write a letter to Quilici. He'll never believe me.
I know what you're gonna say. Marius, I'm tired of your blessed day attitude. Get over it. Well, you know what? So am I. So just let me be alone for a bit. It is. And it isn't. I'm not sure what it is, really. Just the thought of going back to Galawain's tusks makes my heart feel like it's going to explode. I sweat. My ears ring. I can't breathe. When it seems like we're really heading there, I feel like I'm dying. I guess a lot of things happened to me there. I grew up there in Solace. I left there on purpose. I understand not wanting to go back, but why can't I just thinking about it makes me feel ill. I need some time alone, Envoy. I need to get some rest. I'll be ready to go when the time comes.
Does this amuse you, seeing your kin caged like beasts?
No true kin would desert Solace. All we have are our oaths to Nandru, and you broke them.
Ah, so they're not just rude to outsiders, then.
The damn oaths again. You might as well be the one in chains. Our founder, Nandru, didn't intend for his people to starve. I'd bet you my kidneys he didn't build Solace Keep so we can die of starvation in it. No, he would have wanted us to live.
Honestly, I don't care anymore. I'm getting too hungry to even think.
What's going on here is Pargrunen business. Stay out of it, Outlander.
Yeah, don't need a blessed outsider pretending they know anything. Move along.
Can't imagine why you even set foot here. These are Pargrunen lands, last I checked.
Meaning mind your tongue and your judgment while you're here, outsider. These folk have done much to deserve their cages.
You won't find much at that old ruin, but I'm glad to see you go.
Follow the main road north and then east. You'll find some dirt paths to follow after you hit the cliffs. Now mind your business.
Keeping the outside world out is going to be the death of Solace Keep.
Get off me!
They're coming!
Oh, excuse me.
I was worried for a second.
We've got company!
As I live and breathe, the faithless envoy. Ludwig finds your loyalty a touch diminished. If you're looking for the Inquisitor, she's hunting a lead to the garden through its twisted silver roots. The tower calls, and it turns, and it calls, but for the roots we go, if not for the roots. The roots say your name, envoy. They say you told them to do it. You've done what the roots want. Poison in our veins. Traitor. I know what you are. The roots try to choke the steel garrote, and we will strangle them in return. Cut them. Bleed them.
That's the Dream Scourge talking. We should put them down. Give them a swift end.
Knew it! Knew it! Knew it! Roots hold you. Roots in your heart. Come and die. We won't let your rot survive. Die as the roots die. Die, traitor! Lay yourself down. Envoy, over here.